되게 간절해가지고 더 열심히 노력했거든요. 보상을 받은 것 같아서 너무 기분이 좋아요.
올라가게 돼서 정말 다행이고 당연히 또 올라가야 된다고 생각을 하고 있었었는데 좀 오늘 힘겹게 올라간 것 같아서 아쉬운 면이 좀 있어요.
잘하는 형인데 그래도 토스니까 나쁘진 않은 것 같아요.
구리죠. 조금 안 난 것도 구린데 저거 중에 굉장히 인정하는 병렬이 만나가지고 더 좀 안 좋은 것 같아요.
C 정도 될 것 같아요. 공격 안 하잖아요.
공격력은 약한 것 같아요. C. 병렬이도 공격을 안 하는 거예요.
수비 A? 단단하게 일단은 침착하게 유명하잖아요.
A뿔? 게임 해보면은 너무 잘 막아서 짜증날 정도로 너무 잘 막아서
전략도 없는 것 같아서 C?
프로토스는 종족 자체가 전략이 좀 없긴 해요. 병렬이가 저 상대로 좀 대회 때 이것저것 전략적인 수를 많이 두더라고요. 그래서 저는 병렬이 전략 A 주겠습니다.
A? 피지컬은 좋은 것 같아요.
제일 좋아 아니면 한 몇 등 정도?
2등, 1등 이상입니다.
아, 그걸 좀 섭한데? 저도 A 주겠습니다. 서로 난전했을 때 피지컬이 좋더라고요.
근데 우승자는 S를 줘야 될 것 같아요. 저는 GSL 우승을 못 해봤기 때문에.
저 스스로 느낀 건데 제 멘탈 별로 안 좋은 것 같아요. 병렬이 멘탈도 한 멘탈 하거든요. 멘탈 내기. F 주겠습니다.
근데 우승자고 꾸준하고 그리고 토스 중에서 거의 원탑이라고 생각하기 때문에 A요.
현 시점에서 병렬이 S급적인 것 같아요.
탐사정밖에 없나요? 일부러 그러는 건지 아니지.
분수기 식충? 이유는 곧 없어질 거니까. 아, 미안하다 병렬아. 농담인 거 알지?
재엽이 형 예전에 스타리그에서 했을 때랑 지금 많이 다르니까 긴장 많이 해야 될 거야. 뭐야 반말 안 하는데? 조심해야 할 거예요.
그래, 저번 스타리그 때 3대 0으로 이겼지만은 지금은 너가 많이 잘해진 걸 나도 알고 있어. 그래도 결국 승자는 형이 될 거야.
Enjoyed that interview. That was fun. Yeah, Stats is so funny, man.
해외 거듭난 스플라이스와 진에어 그린윙스의 대결인데요. 이병렬
Alright, we're going
선수와
to the interview
김기현
now.
선수 제 양옆에 나와 있습니다. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Everybody's passing around hellos.
네. 자, 먼저 이병렬 선수입니다. 5번째 4강 도전이에요.
네.
그래도 요즘 우승 후보로
Rogue, it's your
뽑히고
fifth
아주 핫한
attempt
선수인데
to get to the
어떠세요?
semifinals.
일단은
How do you feel?
5번째 8강인데 무척 긴장되고
네.
재밌는
I know this is my fifth quarterfinals, but
네.
still,
근데
I'm nervous.
적은데 우승 후보인데
I'm really hoping to have
멘탈
some fun games
내기에다가
tonight.
식중에다가
네.
너무 많은 심한
A lot of
얘기
people are saying you're the
들었어요.
favorite for being a
어떠세요?
champion this season.
멘탈 내기는 저도
But did you see
연습실에서
Stats' interview?
저도 좀
He says your
인정하는
mentality's at an
근데
F.
방송에서는 또 멘탈 좀 잘 잡고 하거든요. 한판 저도
네.
Yeah, I admit it. I don't always perform well when the
연습실에서만
pressure's
멘탈
on.
내긴 것 같아요.
지금 멘탈 깨지신 거 아니죠?
아니요, 저 멘탈 안 깨고 지금 아닙니다.
네.
I think it's mostly
자,
because it's
김기현
different from my
선수
team house. I always
만나보겠습니다.
feel a little bit different when I'm in an
유망
actual
선수
tournament,
감사했습니다.
especially one like
자, 오늘 일단
GSL.
컨디션 어떠세요?
오늘 컨디션 사실 좀 피곤하고
And how about your
네.
condition stats?
때와도 똑같이
Oh, I feel a little bit tired, I guess.
피곤하고
네.
그래도 연습은 많이 해와가지고 자신감.
But anyways, I practiced a lot.
그래서
I think that should increase my confidence overall.
좋은 재밌는 경기 할 수 있을 것 같아요.
네.
So I think I'm
이병렬
gonna have some good
선수에게
matches
멘탈
tonight.
점수로 F를 주시기도 했는데 그런데 정말 솔직하게 이병렬
So you
선수
gave him an
어떠세요?
F on his mentality and psychology going into matches.
만나기
What do you honestly think about Rogue though?
상대였죠. 그 8강 멤버들 중에 가장
네.
만나기 싫은 상대
I think he's one of the opponents. Honestly, I would prefer to avoid in a tournament like this.
그랬는데
네.
정말 제가 2등으로 올라가 버리는 바람에
네.
만나게.
He might be ranked first for the people
자,
that I
이병렬
would
선수
ideally not want to
혹시
face right now.
사성주,
네.
8병렬
What do you have to say to that,
신용
Rogue?
아세요?
알죠. 유명하니까 알고 있습니다.
네. 이번에 박용 선수는 그 징크스를 탈출하셨어요.
네.
그런데 그런 징크스 걱정은 안 하셨었어요?
일단 걱정은 많이 되고
네.
Are you cursed like Mario
그런 거 생각은 별로 안 하는 것 같아요.
and Dark?
네. 그럼
Do
오늘
you think you could break a curse? He says, well, I don't really care about the curse, is what people are saying.
긴장도 많이 하고
Gary says he must be really confident.
자신감이 있습니다.
네. 자, 그럼
Since I practiced a lot,
전에 두 선수
I think it'll go well.
한마디씩
What is this weird reversal that's happening here, Tosis?
이병렬 선수가 이번에
Any strong words for each other before we start this?
일단 대엽이 형은 브리즈컨 확정이고 저는 이게 또 마지막
Stats has already secured his
목숨을
BlizzCon
걸었거든요,
spot.
저희가. 또 간절함이 다르기 때문에
네.
This
일단
might
제가,
be my last
또
opportunity to try to
열심히 더
get
준비했을
into
거라고 믿고,
BlizzCon.
앞으로
I'm desperate right now,
김유진 선수가 저도 된다고 하시던데.
so I'm motivated to crush it tonight.
저도 사실 민수를 살짝 응원했거든요. 근데
네.
일단은 지금 경기를 집중해야 될 것 같아서
네.
일단 4강은 생각하지 않고 있습니다.
Also, I supported
자,
Solar,
김대호 선수
but he's been eliminated.
네, 이병렬 선수에게 한마디 하신다면?
병렬이가 정말 그 도끼 품고 열심히 준비해
Any
온
words
것
to
같아서
Rogue?
오늘 정말 재밌는 경기가 나올 것 같아요. 저도
I know he's certainly desperate to advance. I know he's probably practiced hard, but honestly, I don't care and I can't care.
재밌는 경기 나올 것 같아요.
My
네,
focus right now
알겠습니다. 저 역시
is
기대가
just to
되는데요.
play some
자,
great
그럼
games
김유진
and
선수의
move on.
상대 가려보도록 하겠습니다. 8강 2경기
All right, that does it.
시작하겠습니다.
Artosis, we
Yes.
gotta talk about that weird interview. It started out and it's like, so Rogue is like, I'm not that confident. In fact, I'm really nervous. And then we turn to Stats and she's like, Gary's like, well, you said he was an F, but what is he really like? And he's like, actually, I wish I had avoided him. And then it goes back to Rogue, and Rogue's like, I'm really confident, actually. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, a little bit weird there for sure. But Rogue said that this might be his last chance for BlizzCon. He's basically correct. Well, if he loses here, he would basically have to win Super Tournament and have Beyond not do well and Solar not do well. So yeah, and SOS needs to die in the next round for him to, so he basically needs to win tonight is what I'm trying to say. You can't count on winning Super Tournament. He needs to rack up a few more points. He's pretty low right now.
We're going to be starting this game shortly here. It is a best of 5. Right now, SOS is the only person who's in the round of 4 in this third season of the GSL Codes. This, by the way, is the last season for this year, 2017, where we started all over again in 2018. But I do wonder with these two guys. Rogue, he's the best inconsistent player that we have, I'd say. He looks really, really good some games, and then sometimes it falls apart. There's been games where he's had Sue beat we've seen that could have changed the entire landscape of a tournament. Doesn't quite pull through. When we were doing Pro League, a lot of inconsistency there. But when he's on, he's really on. Stats is, I think, possibly the most consistent player that we have.
Oh, he is.
Out of
He's
our
killing
top
it
tier
this
players.
year. He's just
innovation as well, I guess. It's safe to say him too.
Yeah, those two, maybe TY you could add in, but they are just killing it. Stats is so by far in first place for points. Innovation has to win this season to dethrone him. So that's, he's probably going to have #1 seed going into BlizzCon, but we'll see about that. Who do you think, though, in this series, right, with Stats being the greatest defensive Protoss and Rogue just kind of being on top of the world as far as his skill goes, who wins?
Well, I think one of them, I don't know. I think Stats, maybe. It depends. Rogue is a little bit trickier and a little bit brainier than a lot of these other Zergs, so it's a harder one to call. Whereas I feel like, you know what? Okay, let me walk that one back and say it differently.
Okay.
I think it comes down to how Rogue's psychological state is.
Okay.
Because sometimes Rogue brings out these really lackluster games. By the way, guys, I love Rogue. I'm not trying to speak poorly of him, but we've seen
No, you're right.
occasionally he falls apart. And I think
does.
the first 1 or 2 games are going to be the real indicator of that.
Yeah.
Not even just by the results of him overall, but by just how he looks throughout that series. Stats is kind of your bread and butter defensive Protoss player that just ekes out an advantage much later on.
Yeah, it's quite true, and Stats is super good with late game compositions because he gets there so often. I feel like Rogue has to really make the mid game work for him. Like, he's not really, he knows how to get aggressive for sure, but Stats is very good at defense, so I don't see him winning early games. I don't think we're just going to see cheesy all-in plays. And then, if it gets super late, he can win, but Stats is one of the guys that just, you know, again, he gets there so often. He knows how to use Tempest and cover them with Archons and Sidestorm and things like this. So
Are we going to have any aggressive, funny stuff from Rogue? He is capable of doing that.
yeah, I would imagine that we'll have him like try something aggressive through the series, because he does mix it up and he does have a lot of strategies planned out, especially for series he gets to plan for. But Stats is so good at defense, so it's tough. You know, if he uses one of those and loses, it's like, oh, I'm a good macro Zerg, and now I've lost the game right in the beginning.
I think this will go to 5 games.
Yeah.
I actually
could see
thought
it,
that
yeah.
our other series was less likely to go to 5 games.
Yeah,
but
I thought that one might be a 3-1.
Yeah, me too. Here, it's a tricky one to call, but yeah, I think we will have a back and forth series no matter what, unless Rogue begins to choke.
Yeah. I mean, there is always that possibility that he does choke once again, and Stats just rolls him over.
It's funny how some players have a hard time with this and others don't, where some people show up and it's the same as when they're laddering. Like you hear Stats say, for instance, Stats in the interview, how are you feeling? He says, I'm tired, but I'm fine.
No.
He probably is tired. He's been in the studio for a while. That was a long series. Okay.
Yeah.
But he knows I'm tired at home sometimes, and it's okay. Whereas with Rogue, there really was some talk about, okay, you've done this many times before and not advanced.
Yeah.
And some players seem more capable than others of actually building a complex out of certain tournament results or certain patterns. I mean, Sue's another one as well.
Yeah.
I think that guy has a sick complex about getting second,
Well,
right?
yeah,
I mean,
in
this
the
is
finals, he's...
the point in time where it's like, oh my God, it's happening
It's
again.
clear his
The
play
next
isn't
time-
as good in the finals. It's clear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do not disagree with what you're saying here. But Rogue, he kind of came out of it, right? He won IM Shanghai, which was basically just as stacked as the round of 16 here.
Sure,
You know, it's basically the exact same players, plus a couple Chinese. But
you know, the thing is that it's also a different studio, right? This is a different environment. There might be a lot more emotional attachment or issues with the GSL studio at this tournament that these guys are competing through year-round to try to win.
Yeah. Well, Rogue really needs a win tonight if he wants to go to BlizzCon.
Yeah.
It's crazy the amount of things that have to go right for him to get into BlizzCon otherwise. So it is time, Tastus. He actually vetoes Newkirk Precinct. That's a very, very interesting veto there. I think that's a huge nod towards Stats' great defense. But that means he has to play Acolyte. So that is a free 3 bases for Protoss. Good luck there.
Okay, let's do this. Game number 1 is loaded up. Rogue versus Stats. The winner goes on to the round of 4.
2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S.
In the bottom left in the blue, he is
Jin Air Green Wings. Rogue.
and in the upper right, in the red,
Splice. Stats.
Really see the differences between these two PVZs, just even not even based off of like the map vetoes, right? In the previous game, our Zerg player Solar vetoed what's this? StarCraft Traveling Korea.
well, you are in
STK.
luck, my friend. By the way, someone from NetWars, old school site.
What does STK mean?
SK Telecom.
Oh,
Connected the dots.
but even just like looking at the map vetoes, I just kind of find it kind of interesting. Like Mech Depot being vetoed by Stats here. Whirlwind in the previous game by SOS. Definitely showing different flavors and styles that they want to play with. Now, Rogue goes double hatch before pool. I like it. It's a long map. You can't really get punished for this too easily, and Stats is not like a crazy all-inner, so it makes sense. But Stats takes the front base first. So he's going to have basically a free third in that back natural.
This is a skinny map, you could call it. So, which if we do get into any games that are going to look like what happened with Solar and SOS, and we very well may, especially with Stats being the defensive player, it's important to note, you know, how easy or hard it is to move around your opponent.
Yeah.
On a map like this. The expansions here, you can see there's many bases, 5 total, just bunched up on each corner. And then it's a steady crawl to the other side of the map. But this map might be a little bit trickier to do a lot of counterattacks and harasses. Everything is squished together.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny map in a lot of ways. It's pretty easy to defend, of course. You know, if you got something like Swarm Hosts out here, that back natural is going to be impossible to defend. But I mean, I don't know what Rogue's overall plan is. I wasn't super surprised to see the veto by Solar on that map. I guess it's because he's against SOS as well, though, right?
Yeah, and SOS has got a weird style. I think you veto for different reasons against SOS.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, I know he'll kill me with carriers on that map, so I'm not going to go there.
So these, this one Adept has come in here, only losing shield so far. Looks like he does not get cornered, pinned up against the wall, just comes in to do a little bit of scouting. He's now already outside.
By the way, what do you think about those ghost jellyfishes that fly around on this map?
The orange ones, right?
Yeah.
They look delicious.
Yeah? You'd eat one of those?
I'd eat one of those. Can you
Would you
eat
eat it live?
jellyfish?
Huh?
Is that a delicacy? Do we just die if we do that?
Well, there's a lot of different jellyfish.
I'm going to go find out this weekend, and then I'm dead. Dave's the only guy to die this year by eating a jellyfish. Sorry, guys.
They thought that went without saying, so no one ever warns people about it.
Yeah.
It's like, but I thought it was made out of jelly. It's like, what?
No, I like the orange jellyfish flying around on this map.
Yeah, it's kind of spooky. This is like a Halloween map, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. This could be a very good Halloween map. It's third Nexus coming down now for the Protoss player stats. As the Zerg continues to drone up. We do have the second Oracle being made. Ooh. Getting that one drone like right before it got inside the extractor.
Still heavy droning here from Rogue, really getting his economy up and running. Third base going down for stats. Of course, with a couple Oracles, there's nothing you can do about that. This game kind of proceeding as we expected in a lot of ways.
Hey, drone transfer back over there. What do you think about this this stasis strat that we just see a lot of from Protoss now? I feel like it's not as good as it used to be.
It certainly is not, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you're almost hoping that they're not going to control as well.
I think it's still good, though, because like if you look at this point of the game, if you have the extra energy, you may as well. You don't need to tag anything yet, you know? Zerg can't have anything too wild out.
Oh, he's going to send the Oracles in with this. Does he actually want to try to pick an actual fight here?
Oh, I don't think so with that many queens.
Oh, I think he does. This is kind of funny. He just wants to try to freeze everything back here. Okay.
Doesn't get too much there.
I'm
really not getting that much done.
Sure about this. Now, where did they went out? Okay, so that was interesting. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it didn't really do too much. That was a good defense by Rogue. Stats just kind of going into standard 3-base play here, getting a Forge, Twilight, and Robo. So nothing too surprising. I love that Rogue has gone into double Evo for Zergling upgrades, and this really makes me wonder if he will go into Swarm Host on this map. Because normally if you're going like Lingbane Hydra, you won't see double Evo like before a layer or something, right? Whereas if you're going for that the Swarm Host type of play, a lot of times you're just going to mass up Lingbane for a little bit, get a decent creep spread out, and he does have a lot of queens, and then go into it. So, we'll see.
Ling's now driven back. I think we may see the fourth base get taken here by one of these two sides. Also, Protoss can power up and try to lean on the Zerg a little bit. These bases are close, but you don't necessarily get them for free just because they're still out there. It's not like you're trying to attack into a nook or anything like that.
A nook?
Yeah, that was a really weird way that I sounded when I said nook.
Yeah.
I was like a nuke. But
you were so like a nuke.
I was, yeah. I became a Canadian there for just a second. Queens are going to come down here, but we'll see. I mean, Protoss can try to actually attack and do some more damage on the edge over here.
Yeah, and by the way, it does look like Swarm Host play coming out of Rogue.
Cool.
I like it. Like I was talking about that back natural that's like quote-unquote free for Protoss. This is, like, Swarm Hosts are really good against that because its minerals are to the back and everything. And against this style of just going like Archon, Immortal, Zealot type of play into Psystorm, Stats does this style almost all the time, and Stormhost can be pretty good against that as well. So just for a lot of reasons, this is a very good choice out of Rogue, I think.
But first, the pressure is going to be on. Protoss now coming in with some zealous with speed and the Archons here. Oh, and not actually transfusing in time.
Yeah, high energy one here as well. Loses another high energy one. Lings and Banes coming up. He's got to be careful with these Banes. Doesn't want them to hit the Archons.
Yeah, well, actually, he handled that basically perfectly.
Yeah, that didn't do
He made that look so easy.
Picked off some queens and stuff.
It was cool when he started out the targeting. You can see Rogue's screen just wasn't quite over there in time. Stats is now taking his own fourth base up here.
Yeah, really staying on top of those expansions. But 2-2 started here for Rogue. He's going to have Baneling speed as well. We don't see anything being made out of that Infestation Pit Tech yet. And in fact, just goes directly to Hive.
And he might actually connect with these Banelings here in this drop and maybe take some workers out. More Templars coming in here this time with Sonic Storm to be used later on. He needs to go into a little bit more of a defensive game. What do you think about that Speed Zealot Archon attack there? It seems like as long as Zerg holds that correctly, they're fine. They win the game.
Well,
right?
He attacked into where all the queens were, but there's great creep spread, and if you look at the minimap, look at the Overlord spread, I think that the queens would have been wherever he went. But like when you see double Evo and Lings, you know you're fighting against only Lings, so you can be very efficient with that. I think strategically it is a good call. It did not work out this time.
Well, the fourth base is being taken up here. Now, with these Lings coming in, this might be when he actually does a drop. Here we go. Is it going to connect?
Oh, yes, it is.
Wow. Huge amount of kills. 17. It's hard to get more than that.
Yeah, seriously. That's like a whole mineral line right there.
Yeah.
So that was a fantastic drop. Stats going to reprobe that immediately. By the way, Stats also going up into Tempest Tech here, realizing that this is, in fact, a rush up to Guardians. I thought for sure we'd see some Swarm Hosts, but not going to be the case here today.
coming in here.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to do the defensive play probably for a while now. Zerg pretty much has the map and is going to continue to grow at that rate. The Mothership is on the way as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Baneling drop coming in there. It's very easy to hit that location. That's kind of not how it's supposed to be done, but okay.
That little group of Lings got three
that was completely worth it.
Pretty sick.
When I saw the storms come down, I thought, is he doing this so perfectly that all the Templars are exactly between that? But no, they're all gone.
By the way, with these 2-2 upgrades and the fact that we haven't seen even one Immortal made by Stats, his composition can be very weak against the Ultralisks. You know, like these Zealots aren't going to do very much against them, and Psystorm,
sure.
You know, it has limited use. They have so much health. So really cool to see the way that Rogue is playing this.
Okay, the Overseer coming in here to check, see what the tech pattern is. I think right now Rogue is basically in perfect control of this game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be just a little bit before Protoss can push out, and by then I think the tech that we wanted Rogue to go for, he will already be at that point in time. You know, even harassing with the Warp Prism on this map, it's kind of tricky just because of the way the minerals are placed. They're placed on the very edges of the map where you can't quite just get in there from behind. It's funny because it's really the natural is the place you can bully the most on this map early on.
Little harass going down here. Doesn't look like he'll do too much. Has to pick up and get out. The defense so far from Rogue has been basically perfect. I love how greedy he's being, like double Evo for days. Now he's going double Spire even to make sure he has great upgrades there.
And he's just going to be in a great position in the late game here.
Stats has been using his extra money for aggression that has done nothing, and Rogue has been using his extra money for greediness and upgrades and powering, right? So I'm loving where Rogue's at.
Oh my god.
That is a lot of surprises.
More of these Lings are spilling through here. I don't think they're going to get too much, but again, just the fact that the Protoss is simply defending big attacks back here. Some of this is, of course, forced upon the Protoss because of how well the Zerg handled the few harasses that came through there. But there's almost no attention that the Protoss can really devote to the bottom side of the map where Rogue is just growing at this massive rate. And the fact that Rogue has now taken this bottom right base in the very corner and is expanding now upwards towards the left center at the other base, I mean, Rogue's going to have dominion over the entire bottom of the map.
Yeah, he's going to have everything.
Yeah.
And all Stats can do is make like the best comp he possibly can, and that's what he's doing. He's adding some Tempest.
He just shuts down the Nexus. This is a 4-base Protoss. It's going to be on 4 bases for a long time at this rate. Granted, the supplies are somewhat even. I think that the tech is getting pretty advanced here for the Zerg. Although I think we've seen stats respond, I think, in a correct way about getting the Tempest a little bit sooner. I'm in a comfortable spot if I'm Zerg here.
Yeah.
Everything's going the way I wanted it to go. Now, sometimes this game can still come down to one big fight, but
yeah, so, and it oftentimes does, because Stats is going to be able to max out with basically whatever comp he wants as well. Oh my god, a Nidus right now. Rogue is so sexy. His play, like the fact that he is getting 3-3 this quickly, and he's making a Nidus and mass spines, and he's just turtling, and like, there's so many cool aspects to how he's playing this. I am just loving it.
Yeah, he might start hitting him from just so many different sides up here. And, you know, it's funny because Protoss feels safe with this big immobile army where everything's close together. But if you have armies popping out from multiple directions and just hitting hard, even if you're all bundled up on your bases in this corner, they can still be enough. Wow.
Sick. Wow.
My God. Okay.
Truly impressive.
Let's see where that Nidus is going to come in. I don't believe he has anything that gives him vision inside the main. He might just want to have one outside, one expansion on the edge, and the other somewhere else.
Because letting 3-3 cracklings loose in the main base, like, you have to go clean that up with something.
Right.
And warping in Zealots at that point, they haven't scaled as well. He doesn't have as good upgrades for them.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that Overseer was back there. So he's going to have this up here. And I'm not sure. Okay, he's coming back. But, of course, these are a bunch of cracklings coming out. And there's already a Zerg army ready to pounce on any of these vulnerable races on the perimeter.
That fourth base might just die.
Uh-oh. Well, no, it looks like not enough Lings coming out.
Or the fifth base, rather, sorry. A lot of Lings going towards that fifth base. Ultras as well. Nope, he left a good amount of units here.
And it's invisible already.
God, this is the unstoppable Zerg against the immovable Protoss.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes in games like this, the Zerg expands and looks great early on, but because it's pretty clear who gets what base, like, it's very unlikely that Zerg can expand to any of the more obvious places that the Protoss is going to take. You're just in too close proximity. Sometimes the Zerg ends up mining out before the Protoss, and the Protoss that was really defending most of this game, because they had less expansions, and the Zerg might have not effectively attacked in a lot of the time, and therefore lost a lot of his army. By wasting minerals and gas in a weird way. The Protoss can win, so that's a problem that Rogue is aware of. Rogue knows that he's got a lead, but he definitely has to end this game rather than have to try to drag it out with the Protoss.
Yeah, it's super hard to beat someone like Stats who's going to get the right unit composition in that situation. I would say overall the cost efficiency might even go to Rogue, though, this game. He's just like, Stats has done a few attacks that haven't worked. What has Rogue done? Like, he's lost a few Lings. That's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. He's coming here now with these Ultras. He's going to target down this Nexus. Might try to go for some of these probes. Looks like he's going to back up. More Banelings now coming over here at the top. Unpowering that pylon, but there was... Oh, I didn't see those up there.
Sick.
Nice, 11 probes killed. Really good job here by Rogue.
It only takes one.
Yeah.
Look at that. Units lost. 43 probes already going down. Really not that much lost, not that much spent by Rogue that's died. But he's sitting here with lots of Ultras. Now he's making some Corruptors as well. So he might go like Brood Ultra and try to make this like set of units that is going to somewhat counter. Like if you have Brood Lords, that's going to do very well against Immortals. And if you can kind of push the Immortals back, then your Ultras can do a great job. And he has a lot of them, so he's got to make them count somehow.
Of course, if we do go into mass broods, a lot of times Protoss will send those Immortals out in War Prisms even, and try to target down hatcheries in some very effective way to throw them away while still possibly getting something out of it. Whoa, look at that giant thing. This was a big turtle.
It's like the biggest Corruptor I've ever seen.
That was crazy. Zerg needs to infest that unit. Imagine the supply that costs.
Oh my god.
It's like 12 supply.
12 supply!
Crazy.
And then we just get one of those RTS games where it's all hero units battling at the end.
Oh, this is cute.
Handsome play right there. That is a +3 armor that is going to be canceled out, as well as Greater Spire. I think.
Come on. Yeah. Then he's going to get the...
Oh, wow. Both Spires.
Ooh.
2 additional ones start immediately. So, I mean, he'll get back into those upgrades, but he's slowed out those upgrades. And he's made it so that Broodlords can't be made for a couple minutes. So, that's really good.
Does that mean Rogue wants to attack here or shift gears? Because that's actually a pretty huge interruption there from stats to everything Rogue was trying to do this game.
I think this game just kind of has to look like the game we saw, Game 1, Solar SOS on Mech Depot. It's a huge map. There's so many bases and everything. If you attack in and lose your army, you're in so much trouble.
Wait a minute, these aren't my zealots. Okay, so he's cleaned that up. Protoss is struggling to try to secure this base over here in the upper left. The further Protoss spreads out, the harder it is to be guaranteed to be in a good spot. Of course, the Protoss bases in this upper right quadrant are basically so secure it's hard for the Zerg to do much. And so we're going to see carriers finally come into play here.
Okay.
Which I think was necessary considering how this game was going.
It's such a great late game unit. But to be fair, like, they don't really match up against Corruptor plus Broodlord that well. Like, they don't snipe everything too quickly. The interceptors can be picked off and everything. Tempests are a better counter against that, but we don't see that set of units. So that it makes sense that you would be making the carriers here, but the Greater Spire has started again.
Some of these DTs are set on the map trying to keep the Zerg honest back at home. Protoss once again trying to expand them here to the very upper left. Zerg has banked up a lot more minerals and a lot more gas here, which is important because if a big exchange does go down, the Zerg can remax in the snap of a finger.
Yeah.
Protoss is not at the point where they can. In fact, Protoss is trying to just transition into this different tech here. So.
Yeah. He's spending a lot of money making things like DTs, trying to stay active in some way or another. Look at these, the
Good
Ultras
micro with those Immortals, man.
Yeah.
Really effective trade. That was a total loss there for Rogue.
So those Ultras coming in and dying just like that alone kind of screams to me that he's going to go Broodlord, right? Like, if you're wasting your Ultras, it has to be go for another unit set. And really, what else is there? It's, well, I guess Infestors definitely are one, but...
Looks like these DTs are going to be cleaned up, but I like the idea. And let's see if we see a massive amount of Broodlords made right when this Greater Spire finishes.
Okay, it's done.
Protoss seems to be moving out.
He's actually maxed right now, so he's going to have to spend some units if he wants.
Oh, that's true.
Wants to continue to produce air army.
Protoss is poking, man. This is Stat's first big foray onto the map, really.
Yeah. 19 minutes, 52 seconds in.
That's right.
Stats kills a building. Oh, I guess he got the spires earlier, but...
Stats is moving back, but this has triggered Rogue to then head up directly into the center, knowing that that army is pretty clunky.
Look at this. This is what we were talking about before, by the way. He sends in an Overseer. Something we didn't see Solar doing, so he makes sure that DTs can't defend bases. Like, these are the little ways that Rogue is differentiating himself from the other top Zergs.
Yep, he's going to clean this base up and then go ahead and leave. Meanwhile, these Ultras are just doing a decent amount of damage. Now, nice big drop over here.
Yeah.
But of course, there's more than enough Overseers and everything else to try to handle this. And even though I think Stats has done a pretty impressive job, I feel like Rogue is so in control this game and is not really being slowed down.
Yeah, the only thing that got slowed was the Spire snipes, I guess.
Yeah.
But how does he win? How does he finish it?
It would seem to me like Stats would have to last so long in this game, barely holding on. And eventually, if Rogue gets too greedy, he'll be in trouble. But I think that's a long ways off.
Yeah.
This is a real uphill battle.
Okay.
But he might just get crushed under the weight of Rogue this game.
There are a lot of Infestors being made.
Yeah.
Stats is going to have to control a little bit better than we saw at SOS in one of those games. Make sure he doesn't get chain fungled on his High Templars. Those really are key. It's kind of neat. He just has 2 carriers in there. Adds a ton of damage output from to your army.
Well, you can also get in a situation where they overmake their air army trying to counter that. You know, sometimes people will see certain things like carriers and just not stop.
That's true.
Not pump the brakes on the tech they're trying to respond to with that, and then when the fight actually happens, sort of like when we see one Colossus, 2 Colossus made, and the Terran freaks out and keeps making Vikings.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, huge.
That is so huge. Wow, that's like 5 Infestors free. And he's going to be able to kill this base. And he can just recall out of here.
Now we talked about the mentality of Rogue and how occasionally he chokes. This is definitely something that could set him up for failure in this series, just knowing how he's had so many games where it's good and then things don't go his way and it kind of falls apart. Now he set these links in here, which probably shouldn't do that much more damage.
I like that he keeps trying things like that. You always see like huge mineral banks at the end of games with Zerg. with no gas left over, but he's trying to get some use out of those minerals right now.
Very patient stats here, picking each battle. Sometimes a lot of these battles, they stack up, man. Not stopping with any upgrade he can get. He wants to get the full picture.
Yeah, he's getting all the speed upgrades.
Yeah.
I bet you anything, though, he does not get Thermal Lance.
Yeah,
I
that
think-
would be a little bit unnecessary. But
Thermal Lance, he won't get, like... Actually, that's the only upgrade that I think would be worthless this game. Even DT Blink would be worthwhile. If
Sure.
you save one DT with DT Blink, it paid for itself.
yeah,
I actually don't think we see enough. I like that SOS got it that one game. That was props to him.
War Prisms don't seem to be doing too much. And now Zerg is moving down to the map. Some nice fungals being shot out here. Try to trap some of this. But meanwhile, there's an army moving down here in the center right. So Zerg want to counterattack here. Seems like Protoss wants to try to edge in.
What do you think about the way that Stats keeps hitting 2 locations at once? He's split his army. He's got like the air army and then he's got the ground army.
It's weird because he's trying to outposition the Zerg army with his very clunky, slow army.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the ground army kind of walks into a side, makes units come over to counter it, and then the air army flies down. He's keeping the creep spread back pretty well. Definitely got to give that to him. I feel like I'm watching Maru here. He just walks in and kills creep and walks off.
I'm actually more concerned that these 3 outer bases for Protoss, Stats can never get, is the bigger picture. Stats is going around being a nuisance on this map, but Rogue is sort of okay and should still be able to expand. And of course, for Rogue, I'm concerned that he's going to mine out, and it's just going to be this base in the center left that's not been taken. That's the only base he should be able to get that's reasonable.
He does eventually have to come over and take that base that Stats' army is at. The DT has done some serious work with the creep tumors.
Got to be careful, though. He sends these DTs around the map like this here and there, sometimes Archons or a few other units, and it doesn't pay off.
Yeah.
He's not going to have that much. I mean, at this point in time, Rogue has a comical amount of gas banked up, which means he can lose his whole army and, like, I don't know, make ultras.
Yeah, he can remax on basically anything with this type of bank.
He can actually
make
make so many ultras.
corruptors.
He attacks the map and everything dies. It's crazy.
He attacks the map.
Just
Just
there's
there's splash damage coming
Yeah,
out
just
of
the
him.
splash damage actually destroys the map. And it breaks our computer. It's like we didn't even know it could be done before.
This gold base is going to get mined out pretty quick.
Yeah, as they do.
Not even taking the gas at this point. Can do it eventually. Oh, God. What is this? Oh, wait, no. I thought those were stat solids for 1 second there. I'm like, what?
That's an honest mistake. I don't feel like Stats really has a pokeable area. Okay, so that base, this is the only base that seems to have money. This one up here is not being mined from. There's that big fish
That thing is crazy.
Crazy.
I want to see that more.
Yeah.
Imagine that. That would, like, one-shot the mothership. It looks to me like a giant corruptor. Yeah. Maybe that's the thing that like they use in single player with the graphics. The Vikings fly along it. It's like how Zerg transports their entire army across space.
Okay, Protoss is actually trying to push down here. I do like that Rogue is forcing the Stats to just spam down all those changelings that are coming out there.
You know what he needs? He needs a Void Ray to just kill the Overseers that come in so he can defend with DTs. Because these types of attacks late game, you don't see them often because DTs clean them so well. But Rogue has solved that by sending detection, which sounds like a simple thing, but like no one does it. It requires a lot more APM, a lot more babysitting and all, but this is... Rogue is really, really on top of the Zerg world right now.
Yeah, definitely easier said than done.
Okay, so they're both doing the exact same moves. They're like, Immortals are killing a base and Ultras are killing a base.
TTs are doing a lot of damage. I think Stats may have run around and stamped out a lot of opportunities here on the map. Okay, so the main is basically in shambles here. You know what? Actually, this is enough damage, and it's going uncontested.
That is a ton attack. He has to remake Lair and Hive now.
Yeah, well, he has to remake Lair and Hive, and he's also lost all the Hive buildings. So I think suddenly Stats can do this. Okay. This is exactly what he needed to have happen. Look at this. He's just killed off sort of everything at once. I don't even know what Rogue's doing right now. I think Rogue might have just broken.
You think his brain just broke?
Yeah.
The game went too long and he ran out of memory?
Yeah, I know exactly. He's getting the blue screen of death right now. Yeah. Look at this. I don't even know what Rogue is trying to do here. He's actually coming forward, and he hasn't been able to do much with his main army.
No, he's floating around. You know, he doesn't want to actually leave creep. He doesn't want to leave his defensive area.
All Rogue has going for him is a lot of gas, but he doesn't have a lot of that tech anymore, right?
Yeah,
he's
no,
making
he lost his tech for the
He has
most
the
part.
Spire somewhere, though, right?
Yeah, the natural
Oh,
has
no,
the Spires.
that's right, because the Spire was killed off earlier.
Yeah.
This game that we have in the main.
Yeah,
So he's got that, but like that's all he has that he can make with gas. And Corruptor Broodlord is not an answer, really. And I don't think you could just suddenly be like, mass mutas.
Yeah, no, he's not going to do
That.
that.
It's not an option.
If your opponent has a +3 Archon, you're going to be hurt.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is kind of a funny game, too. And some people might be watching and be like, why does he just let his main base die? If he moves his main army out of the center of the map, he loses all his fringe bases.
Well said.
Like, he has to actually position in such a way that stats committing fully to killing one of the bases that matters right now will hurt stats. So that's why, like, you see some of the fringe stuff die. And with this type of bank, he can remake some of this as well, so...
Okay, now the Void Rays coming in here is kind of cool because he knows there's just a bunch of Corruptors coming up here. The Void Rays is an interesting response to this. Stats definitely realizing the position that he's now gotten himself into. Oh my god!
He cannot be letting that die.
Okay, I think Rogue loses, man.
He might.
He has the gas, but he doesn't have the buildings to tech his way into an advantage here. The Greater Spire does remain.
Jeez.
Man, oh man, oh
Rogue
man.
is just slowly but surely going to lose every building.
Yeah, he's chewing
He's
away
gonna-
at everything that's remaining here.
He's going to have that sick army in the middle and be like, wait, creep tumors aren't buildings? No. And now his lair, like he remade the lair and the lair is gone, right? So he does not even have a lair anymore.
There's actually a base being taken by Rogue that's actually on the Protoss' turf in the top center. Which is kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh my god, this game is so weird, man.
So, the only base that Zerg can take, I believe, is, or it's still mine from, I should say, not take. It's still mine from, it's the center left. Where is the tech being hidden, by the way? Are we clear
For
on
Rogue?
that? Yeah,
Rogue doesn't have any additional tech.
but
He
I mean,
hasn't
like,
got to a hive again.
where's his hive then? I mean,
He doesn't have one.
But he's remaking it, right?
He's remaking a layer again because he made the layer in the natural and then that got picked off.
Okay, but where is that at, is what I'm asking.
I don't know.
Because if we can find that, and that's picked off again, I mean, it's crazy because Rogue got himself in such a good position, and Stats ninja'd his way through all the defenses, took out that key tech, and it's been basically lights out. I mean, he's pulled the sleeper move on Rogue right now. Rogue's completely in arrested development as far as where he can go this game.
Is he not making a layer? Like, I don't even know if he has a layer.
Oh, he has to, right?
I don't know.
Look
I'm
at this
just
beautiful
unsure.
Protoss here with the DTs coming in.
Oh, man.
But Stats may have dropped the ball by suddenly realizing, okay, well, by letting him actually take that gold base.
Oh, my God. Okay, he has a layer somewhere because he's making Infestation Pit, but now he has no Spires again. Remaking Spire once again. He's just going to migrate all of his buildings up here.
Oh, this is funny.
We
Then
should
he
just
start
let
storming here.
Zerg buildings should just be able to lift off like Terran so that Rogue doesn't.
Or they can burrow underground and move. That's what I'm. That's what I'm posting on the BattleNet forums.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, looks like DTs can win fights too, even when you see them. So I guess Rogue's going to try to go for it. Now he still has this maxed out army. It's still really scary.
If he loses it, what can he make? Right now he can make Infestors and Zerglings.
The thing is,
That's it, yeah.
I believe that Protoss just gives up that base over there.
Yeah.
Slowly things
Doesn't
are
need
getting
that.
chewed apart.
There goes his cybernetics core. This is so crazy.
Once again, he just moves through here, knowing the conditions of the game are have to destroy all their buildings. And this is kind of a funny little attack over here. Not sure about this.
Using feedbacks on those high energy queens. Wow, bank those all game.
Now, is he going to try to where's the mothership? Is it with that army at the bottom?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I guess we got to wait and see where he goes then from here.
Infested Terrans coming out. Changes are not live, so those things are getting wrecked pretty easily.
Well, Zerg is destroying some of these buildings, Artosis.
God, this is one of the strangest.
Yeah, it's actually been one of the hardest games I think we've casted.
Yeah,
Because it's tricky to follow, guys. It's
the way that it is.
The
like,
tempo is
literally
so weird.
only been positional moves. We haven't seen any real battles yet.
Right.
Only tiny battles based off of both of them trying to outposition each other and kill things.
Okay, so now Protoss is only mining from the center right. The Zerg, I believe, actually has enough. Zerg is mining, but can't really spend it that easily. I mean, he's got like 12 infestors. He's still trying to get his tech all back.
Stats bank is like really, really good here as well.
Yeah.
12 infestors on the way, though. I'm not sure. He's been losing a lot of infestors this game that are just kind of burrow moving into armies that see them.
Yeah.
But infestors are such a great choice at this point as well, because you know that Stats is not going to be able to mine too much. And he's making Void Rays, so obviously Fungal going to be very good against that.
And this gold base is eventually going to mine out. A lot of the resources that Rogue's been spending is trying to actually get back to what a late game Zerg is supposed to look like. The Protoss has taken some damage and lost some bases, but it's not really the tech.
But Rogue is taking more bases overall. Like,
yeah, that's what's weird about it. I'm surprised that Rogue was able to snag the gold base. I think that Stats was caught off guard and assumed that was a no-go zone for him.
It's a super big deal, too, like having that extra money. And if you look at these actual armies, 39 Corruptors. Yeah, there's some Archons and Psystorm, but the Corruptors might be able to clear the air, really, if they're spread well. And that's not going to work. I think Rogue is actually going to take this Tasteless.
You know, you might be right.
I really think he is.
It's the free Broodlings and the energy on the Infestors. I think for a while I was seeing that the tech had been shut down here and Rogue was in an odd spot, but these units can trade effectively forever. Now, that being said, I mean, Tempest can fire at a long distance, and Psionic Storm, of course, is a spell, just like what Fungal is. But it seems like maybe with this unit comp, he can do a closer. The problem is if he wants to take out a mining base, I'm talking about Rogue here, he might have to give up his gold base and his minerals, and also he might have to go off of Crete because Protoss is mining from the right side of the map. And Protoss can actually still try to sneak down to the bottom right, which looks weird, but I think it's possible.
So for minerals left on this map, Rogue is about to eat basically the last of them. I see like little speckles of minerals, but those are like...
Right.
That's not real minerals.
Okay, he's slowly moving forward. Do we have an observer here? He does not see that one infestor. That's a little bit weird. Wow, he's
that's a
going to see
one.
everything but that. So, another tag. Now, remember, Zerg, we have to do a mineral check over here, the center left, but I believe that Zerg will basically have no money. But I'm also not clear on how much the Protoss is still mining from that center right base, too. Everything at the top part of the map has been mined out. That's hugging the edges. A nice idea to have these links come in there, but the DTs can clean that up. Every unit's so precious right now. As we go to a game that's gotten super scrappy with every late game tech unit you can see. Another tag there on the flying army. Protoss trying to play a game of chess here as they maneuver around each other.
Yeah, it's just all maneuvering at this point. And such a huge mineral bank here for Zest.
Again, DT's coming through. If he gets that Spire, that's actually pretty huge. Okay, he's going for it. I think he got the army out of position here, which means these defenses can go down. But the Fungals are good, folks.
But where are the rest of the infestors? He actually uses, I think that was a recall to get to bring back the High Templars.
God, he's going to get the Hive at the bottom.
This is just too crazy.
Wow. This is crazy. Now, that was a good escape, a split-second decision there. When he's fungled, he says, okay, I got to get out of here right now. This is going to snowball. Both these guys sitting on a lot of resources here. I wish we could check the center right and see what the Protoss is mining at right now, because this is going to get weird. Protoss doesn't have a comfortable spot to expand to. Again, the DTs have been getting really abusive for the Zerg here. It's hard when you have this many infestors and broodlords. If you don't have the right number of lings defending everywhere else, well, then you're just going to die.
Yeah.
You're going to lose that tech.
By the way, every time he catches anything with Fungal, it is so dead. Oh, God. I wish he would have gone DT Blink this game, by the way.
Oh, for sure. I actually thought he had it. Does he not?
No, he does not.
Huh, okay. Yeah, I just assumed if the game goes this late, you might as well have your DTs blink around.
Look at where Stats just made a Nexus.
I know.
A few minerals here.
It's crazy.
A little bit of gas.
Guys, this is game 1. Okay, we're in for a great series here. So the gold base, I guess it might just mine out. Wait a minute, he's making it there, but there's no minerals.
Well, he wants the gas. He has a bank of thousands of minerals and no gas.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess, is the bottom right fairly mined out too? I guess it is. I for some reason was deciding we had so much attention over here.
Yeah.
This map is going to basically mine out, guys.
Yeah, like the fact that
This could
Stats
be
is
like-
taking a base only for gas, something you never really see, but he needs it. His gas income's almost gone.
This can easily turn into one of the most epic endgame StarCraft 2 matches of all time.
God,
easily
3-5 ultras are good.
Crazy.
Assimilation successful.
Assimilation successful, Artosis.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
Okay, just making sure you're on point.
Wait, does that mean he's using a voice pack?
I guess so. Maybe there's a third caster we can't
Yeah, I
see
don't
that's
even-
invisible, and she only talks once every cast. This is a haunted cast. You said this is a good Halloween map.
Yeah. What is that?
Okay, he knows. And this should be a free, easy base to take out.
Look at this, 31 probes, going to saturate that. Don't think you need to send that many.
Zealots are slowly cleaning up the remaining buildings on the map.
I like that these Zealots can completely surround an Ultralisk and still all die.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to edge in here. Trying
God.
to zone out this
Look at
army.
those infestors, man.
Can he get a good tag
Yeah,
here?
you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's like how many? He killed 6 Zealots.
He's finally mining gas at that gold base. Oh, I'm sorry. He's about to be mining gas from that gold base. Not
See
a
all those
common thing.
minerals.
People would take the gold base in a StarCraft 2 match to actually get the gas from it. Because this game has been that weird. Every expansion almost pretty much mined out.
Sending some probes out, probably to die.
Yeah, he might want to just bleed out some of his worker supply.
Yeah, he doesn't need them anymore.
So that way he can make some more high-tech units. As the workers are essentially obsolete when there's no longer resources on the map to mine from.
Here's a question. What's worse against Broodlords, probes or immortals?
Oh, that's a almost impossible one to answer.
Oops.
Trying to divide by 0 here. They're both
Look at the
absolutely
drones
horrible.
coming up. Oh my god, this is so funny. But value is being had by Rogue.
Yeah, I agree. It's very tough. Now, Protoss might be able to shave away at the Zerg on the map here, but when it comes to big army versus big army, I think it's Rogue that always has the good trades. Okay, a nice tag on some of those infestors. And if he has some of those there, you should know that there are other ones he didn't quite reach just based on how they're moving right now. How
Oh,
about
he
that?
finally got an Ultra.
Yep, he got his revenge. So he mined a little bit more gas. Nowhere near as much gas as what the...
He got minerals there too, though.
Now, you know what? Let's look at this from a different angle here. The only buildings, I think if this keeps up, the way this game's headed, for the Zerg are going to be the spores. Right?
Yeah.
He's probably going to be able to get all the other hatches.
Do you see this?
Minerals might not be a factor.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? His Archon needs to get out to kill these drones. So he was killing his own pylon, but now he's like, nah, I'll kill the Nexus instead.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need
I'll
that
kill my
Nexus.
own Nexus so my Archon can get out. That's a good. That's
So
good.
my Archon can kill the drones that are attacking my main.
Yeah, his Archon's just stuck in there.
One probe.
See this? Yeah, kill the Forge. Jeez, this is a very hemming and hawing Archon here.
I would be surprised if the APM, you can see it slow down pretty heavily for these
I
guys.
would love to see the APM. I would love to see the cost efficiency tab.
Yeah, because I just imagine that they've gotten so low as they're trying to very carefully move around the map and try to look for opportunities. This is no longer a game where you're spamming and going insanely fast. You're really thinking and being very cautious.
Yeah.
Not to overextend here.
Yeah, the player who is more patient and thinks through things better than his opponent. No, okay, that's game. That's game. You can't lose 4 of those.
Yeah, I guess it just comes down to those
That's so
4 units in a
ridiculous.
moment like that.
That's all of his High Templars.
Crazy.
It's all of his High Templars.
So clutch.
Yeah, he can just attack in now.
Whoa!
Nothing can be feedbacked anymore. Nothing can be side-stormed anymore. He's got like 40 Corruptors.
So
that was, oh, you can't let those High Templars die. That's why Protoss can play Supreme late game.
is Protoss able to push out? He has that extra gas. Is he making more Templars? Is that what we're seeing here? I believe he still has the Templar archives. He's
Nope.
making 2 more Archons.
He's making a Twilight. Yeah, huh. Well, he definitely needs those Archons just to help against the Corruptors. But it really looks to me like Rogue has this now. Without those Psy Storms, it's like 8 less Psy Storms.
Okay, he's gonna try to move out on the map. I think Protoss is a little bit too afraid to try to get an engagement. I gotta say, I can't really blame him here. See the mothership core being remade.
Do you know?
Again, every time we see anything made, I mean, these are the remaining minerals and gases on the map. Oh,
Solid parasitic bomb.
yep, for sure.
Does it okay-ish split, gets out of the void ray. I think if I'm stats here, I make the most turtled position I possibly can. The thing is, he's so out of money that maybe there is nothing else to do.
Well, yeah,
but
he can't even really make.
if he could,
buildings.
Eventually, if no one's mining, the game, if no one's mining and no one's killing buildings of each other or making buildings, then the game will just give you a draw straight up. So that might be his best chance, but I don't think Rogue
It
will let
announces
that happen.
right? The timer or something
Yes,
like
the
that?
timer comes on.
Okay. The last time I cast something like that was with Rotterdam, where we didn't realize the timer was on and it just suddenly ended. And then we found Blizzard had to change something in the UI to notify. Okay, hold on. We have a huge attack up here. Great neural parasites on everything. Rogue wins. GG. That game was 40, almost 45 minutes. Insane. Crazy. One of the closest late game scenarios I've ever seen. Rogue with the patience. Rogue outstatsing stats.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
Okay, that was a wild one.
It really was, man.
Jeez, and it was maybe the least action we've ever seen in a game.
Well, it's interesting.
They
because
never
it was-
actually fought until that moment. At the end.
It was a super cautious game where they were circling each other with swords drawn to make sure that, because when you get that high up in the tech, you have to make sure that your engage is going to work. And it seems like once Rogue got that gold base, it was able to get the gases from that. It was too difficult for Protoss to ever fully face. Even though Stats did such a good job with the Zealots moving around the map and doing damage, we saw the Hive, I think, die like 5 times.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Well, I don't know how many times the Hive died. I know a layer died. I know a couple Hives died.
And all those tech structures were killed. The Ultralisk Cavern, the Spires were killed several times. But it was Rogue that actually secured more of the resources on the map overall.
I feel like Rogue right now is where Bill was at a few years ago, where it's like, okay, this guy actually gets Supreme late game better than anyone. The way that he never attacked and just sat in the middle, and he's like, yeah, I can kind of lose everything.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not trying to attack into you with things like Infestors. Like, if he has a high ground advantage in Spores and Spines and stuff, and the type of army that he has, as Protoss, it's very difficult to push into there. He'll make it very cost inefficient in a lot of ways. So the way he just sat there, I think we'll see more of that. If we ever get to any more late games with Rogue, he's not going to move.
That seems to be the way to do it. It's funny because we don't normally get to that point because the game has been solved by somebody.
Yeah.
But they both played so defensively. Of course, some of this is also based off how that map is structured.
Yeah.
That map,
You get so
have
many
so many
resources
bases
so quick.
squished together. And it is hard to try to hit a bunch of different locations like you can on some maps, right?
Yeah.
There, everything's connected. They just kind of run around and stamp out your harass. Game number 2 is going to be on Abyssal Reef, though.
Okay. Well, this is absolutely a map where you can just get a bunch of bases very, very easily. So we could see something similar, but you're much closer, so that just kind of makes action happen more.
Yeah.
And, considering no action happened that game, definitely more action should be happening in this game.
I don't think we're going to have a game like that last game for the rest of the series.
No?
I don't think so. Because
I could see Ascension to Ire going like that, but the other maps, no.
You might be right. I would assume with the way these two guys play that we can't get to that point again. I think that was really map specific, but could be wrong here. We did talk about how it's hard to outmaneuver the Zerg player as the Protoss on a map like that last one we just had. So I don't know. Maybe one of our players requested a break, so we're still waiting for. I'm assuming it's a restroom break. That was as long as some of the best of 5s we casted.
Yeah.
It was like 45 minutes. So,
jeez.
When the player is back, looks like they are. We're going to go into this game.
Okay. I almost feel like it should be break time after that.
I know.
I need a
break. Wow.
Okay. Rogue leads 1-0. Of course, today is a day of Jin Air Green Wings against Splice. Splice already falling to them once with a crazy close series, Solar versus SOS.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in now, definitely go back and watch that later.
Remember, Rogue is hungry. He wants to get the BlizzCon. He has to win here.
Yeah.
This is turned out to be such a great day of PvZ Zartosis. I'm looking forward to this one now. Game number 2, Rogue versus Stats. Let's do this, guys.
Fight! 2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S.
In the bottom right in the blue, our Zerg player winning game 1.
Generic Green Wings. Rogue.
In the upper left, in the red,
Splice. Stats.
Ooh. I gotta say, man, Abyssal Reef is such a good map.
It is.
Always nice games on Abyssal Reef.
Would you, like, list? Give me a short list of your favorite StarCraft 2 maps. The maps that you think gave us the best games, just generally.
Well, here's the problem, Artosis, and you're putting me on the spot here because you know I'm horrible with map names after we're no longer casting them. I'd say Abyssal Reef.
Yeah. Daybreak, perhaps?
Daybreak was good. I actually don't mind Newkirk Precinct. I think some people don't like it, but I think it's
I agree with that. I really like Newkirk Precinct.
I wasn't sure about it at first because it looked kind of generic, but actually sometimes these really basic maps make for really good games.
Yeah.
And then if you go back too far, I just can't remember map names.
Okay. Most of the old ones were really terrible anyways.
That's true. That's true.
Like Daybreak was kind of like the Lost Temple map for a long time, I think.
Python, maybe more like a Python map. Brood War.
But I think Abyssal might be the best that we've had. So definitely a very good one.
Whoa!
Whoa! Get wrecked, son! Get out of this
game! Give me
game!
your pro gamer card. We saw it. Everybody was there.
Yeah. Stats right now. He's like, wow, this little probe has been worth sick money.
Never had a scouting probe do that much damage inadvertently.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like kind of the turtle wall that you can see on this map from Protoss. He's already walled in that ramp. Again, a lot. Oh, well, there's a Twilight, so it doesn't necessarily mean that. This is just like, it means that you don't even have to worry about counterattacks there, generally speaking. And if you're using that other side to get out, then, you know, it generally means you're just going to take bases over there and you always rally there anyways. But speed on the way for Overlords as well. And this is like a very fast Twilight.
Yeah, this is very different from some of the other games we've seen here. A Robo coming along with that. As the Twilight finishes, we see the Adept now try to shade in here.
Oh, I wonder, actually, how much gas does he have? There's a build that Stats was using a little bit where it's kind of like, who is else? See, this is going to be a Templar Archives or? No, a DT Shrine.
Shrine and another gateway.
I was going to say, there was like an Archon drop right build that existed with a high Templar tech, so that you got Psystorm more quickly, but he's just going to do it regular with the DT Shrine.
This is the Diet Archon build. Archon Harass Light, I like to say. Archon 0, where you don't get the Templar Archives right away to get the Storm.
Yeah, much less gas and stuff. This is a good build for the map overall. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to really cheese him at all. He throws down an Evolution Chamber right now. If you drop at just the right time against this, it can be very, very strong because you warp in a very tiny amount of units. Normally it's like 2 units before the DTs, and the DTs get warped in out on the map in the Prism, right? So the Speedling drops are very strong against this build. You see, that's what Rogue's going for.
Okay. Let's see how much damage it does. Hard to... What's going on?
He's making 3 queens and 2 drop overlords, so it looks like a queen drop's going to come up as well.
I almost missed that. Good call, Artosis.
Yeah, he might use this to counter the prism as well, like chase the prism down and force it to get out.
Yeah, you could totally micro underneath it, and then suddenly it can't quite escape.
Yeah.
And with the Ling drop coming in here, I mean, I don't believe there's much of anything for Protoss defending because he's in such a frantic rush to get this. But he doesn't quite have vision.
Oh, he's just barely not going to be able to do this. Look at that timing. Oh my god.
Ooh, gets right over there.
And look, he is chasing it down. These queens going to mess up that prism so hard.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the DTs kill everything. Oh my God, he is going to really punish this Prism. This is super
Oh,
cool.
The Lings are not even actually attacking where they need to be attacking. Can he
Oh
actually get
my God.
this?
Oh my
Nice.
God, that is so big. The
Yeah,
first
I mean,
4 DTs do almost, well, not nothing,
Well,
but
they killed
very
Lings
little.
and stuff, but I mean, they didn't serve their purpose, which was
Yeah.
to really get in there and actually stop detection and to start destroying buildings and drones.
By the way, have we ever seen someone load up Queens to chase a Prism around in?
I don't think, not at GSL, not to my memory.
Yeah, no, I can't
But
remember it happening.
it's a smart play because
Yeah.
you're basically countering their drop with the mobility of your own drops. Because Queens aren't designed to be slow and clunky because otherwise they'd be pretty damn strong at defending everything, right? Especially drops. So this is a cool response here. Rogue with the brainy play. And now... Uh-oh, don't lose that.
You can transfuse the Overlord and get out.
That's a good point. My brain is not processing this drop right now, Artosis.
Look,
the
he
proper way.
almost got the Mothership Core.
Oh!
Oh my God.
Everybody loses everything in the drops.
Everyone overextend everywhere. This is what happens after a 41-minute game where
I
no one
know.
attacks each other.
Even you and I are not at our finest.
We're
casting.
overextending our
We're-
commentary.
Yeah, exactly. That game exhausted everybody. Well, takes out a few of these workers here. Protoss is going to try to seesaw the action back onto this side of the map with some more DT warp ends. But we have a Baneling drop coming in here. If we have a fatigued Stats not watching his worker line while he's trying to do this drop, knowing he's already lost one drop because he wasn't vigilant enough with the Warp Prism, he may not be ready for the Baneling drop. This could blindside him.
Definitely could. Archon drop coming back, trying to do some more damage here. Oh my God.
No. Oh no.
Oh man.
Here we go. He's unloading. And no probes pulled. 10 workers killed. But here come the Archons right now for Stats.
Ooh, a bunch of Lings actually running in here to this third base. Only a single pylon. He can definitely kill this Nexus, I would say.
Yeah, there's no way to stop this. The Lings continuously, completely surrounding that Nexus.
He's going to lose a lot of them, but it goes down. That's really what matters. The Hydralisk Den just finished up.
Now, Stats is doing a full-on push. This is my eyes. Okay, that's not the way you want to do it as Zerg. And I think Stats might have the ability to push in here. He's got.
Does he have enough
their
with the
Banelings
spine and
coming
all?
down.
Ooh, good force fields.
Okay, he needs to have the best force fields you've ever seen. Or the Banelings need to connect on just the Immortal or something like that. That's another way to do it.
Yeah. All right, the Archon's being worth quite a bit here. That spine gets taken out before it can really do any damage. Oh, does he just have enough?
Yeah, well, that's...
It looks like it. The Archons have high
There's
shields.
a Warp Prism north of with a screenshot here as well. He's going to get in between the rallies here, too. Archons just rubbing their bodies up on the morphing Banelings. They just do not care.
Based Archons.
Yeah, based Archons. Yeah, that's it. That's, well, this is just the total opposite of game.
Yeah.
Game 1.
Some action there. All right.
This was watching two guys try to box on an ice skating rink, and they don't have skates on. This is what that is.
Yes. Okay.
Well, that shows
1-1.
you how exhausting Game 1 was.
I think so. Like, the Prism dying kind of makes sense because you never see Queens chase, right? But, like, then Rogue losing the Overlord full of 4 Queens, that was kind of crazy.
We saw one of the best games of StarCraft 2 in Game 1. We saw one of the best games of StruggleCraft 2 in Game number 2. Let's see what this Game number 3 looks like as we go into this. I definitely chalk up a lot of the misplays back there to that exhausting kind of no man's land of a, of a fight in Game 1. Odyssey is going to be our next map. Kind of getting the full package here, Artosis. All sorts of games.
Oh, yes. And Odyssey definitely, like, we could just see a very standard game here. This is, like, kind of out of the new maps, the very standard one where you see, like, a lot of Hydra Bane against Psystorm Charge. Let's see.
Let's do this. Game number 3 is ready. Rogue versus Stats.
2017 Hot 6. GSL Season 3. Code S.
In the bottom right, in the blue.
Generic Green Wings. Rogue.
In the upper left, in the red, our Protoss player.
Splice. Stats.
Oh
my heavens to Betsy!
Cheeky stuff going on here.
A sneaky snake.
Yeah, that's a great place to proxy a hatch too, because there's no reason for a probe ever to go there in the early game. Well, once you see your opponent has no hatch, that might be enough.
Yeah, you might be like, wait a minute.
You're gonna check gold bases and stuff first. That's like the
that's
last
true,
spot.
yeah.
Like he might even be at your third, right? We've seen proxy hatches there, but right there, nah, man.
Ruh-roh. Probe comes in here and scouts.
He's gonna think gold base. Oh my god.
My god, what am I even seeing?
Hidden pool.
Spawning pool.
This is so cool. So how he did that, of course, is start a hatch, cancel, build a pool on the creep left over. How he does that is witchcraft.
Yeah, that's right.
So this should be a roach all in, right? Possibly some Ravagers.
Yeah.
He's getting the double
This
gas.
is so... Wow, you know that
and
there
now,
are cheesy Zergs that ladder every day. They're licking their lips right now seeing this strategy.
no regrets watching
No
this. He's like, I
regrets,
did this years ago.
No regret, just fainted. He just was like...
This is why Rogue's the best sir.
That's right. This is
Okay,
crazy.
he's finally going to scout it, but he scouted almost everywhere else first.
Okay.
Just to put this out there.
Here we go.
Okay, now how does he respond?
Okay, that's a little unnecessary at this point in time.
Yeah, that's...
This is let's not go overkill here.
Well, if the probe comes back, I mean, you're going to know there's a pool somewhere, and then you probably will check the side of the base. So yeah, that was overkill.
Well, you have to know he has a pool somewhere. If the hatch is there, you're not like, is it an expansion?
He just starts
hatchery?
making drones there and sending them
Is
back
this,
to his
in fact,
base.
the worst thing I've ever seen? Is this the worst strategy that you could ever come up with?
Yeah.
He's like, huh.
This is so funny.
Well, he has lings, but no pool. That's strange. What the devil?
Yeah, okay, so there's no Nexus, which makes a lot of sense. He's just going to want to make his Mothership Core and as many Stalkers as he possibly can. Stalkers you can actually micro and beat Roaches and Ravagers with over time, but like things like Adepts and Zealots, you'll just lose the battle.
Now, there's a Spine Crawler there, but I guess he can go for those buildings that are not in creep.
Yeah.
A lot of factors we don't normally have to talk about.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
If he were to do that, if he could kill,
yeah.
Okay, that's a great drill right there.
Yep.
But if he like could go over there and kill him because they're bleeding because they're not creep.
Yeah.
Especially
the
Roach Warren. Especially the Roach Warren. Imagine how much overkill that would be. Like, oh my god.
So the Ravager artillery is the key here.
Yep.
Because you can't really use Mothership Core the way that you want to. The Queen comes up here.
The Queen is fantastic. Super, super important because it keeps the Mothership Core from the constant damage. Oh man, this Immortal though is really cash money.
Cash money, indeed, yes.
It is, dude. Look at him. That Immortal's everything right now.
Uh-oh. Is he going to get this Overlord? Because then he doesn't have the proper vision to get up the...
That's
assuming that he pushes forward and breaks the entrance. Oh.
Look at that Immortal.
It's Immortal's a hero. If this Immortal wins this game, there's going to be statues of that Immortal built all over this map with Protoss rule it. Is this not working? I can't tell. This is such a weird strategy.
It's not working.
We never get to cast. It seems like the more Immortals that come out, the less momentum Zerg really has.
Yeah. The Immortals are just, like early game Immortals beat everything in the game. Everything. There's nothing. Lings, yeah, they beat Lings.
Uh-oh, Queens are not on creep.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
No Queep.
No
Queens.
Queep. No Queep for the Queens.
And now the Mothership Core can come out and play.
And your buildings.
Dude.
Oh, he's going to get the creep over there in time, though.
That's so funny.
But what if he gets one Zealot down there and kills the creep tumors and micros it back and forth? Slowly the buildings burn out.
Yeah.
He tries to get the Queens over there to try to transfuse the buildings in time, but the Immortals are there for some reason, too.
It's tasteless fan fiction.
All right, it's going to be my second fan fiction novel of games of StarCraft that never happened.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so...
Kiss your hatchery, not buy minerals. Goodbye. Blah. He gets it.
And that, like, he's about to have speed. Maybe the speed, if he can
needs to
surround
get a Warp
these...
Prism and drop 2 Immortals down there and kill the buildings. That would be so sick.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Oh my god, I would just run down there and high-five stats, and Rogue would be so mad at me.
Look at this.
Uh-oh.
He's got a recall, right?
Oh, but...
He just recalled 2 Stalkers.
Okay, that definitely is not
my
intentional.
god, these 2.
Oh, no. This is like
This is
watching
too
two
funny.
men boxing on an ice skating rink.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Some mistakes are being made for sure in these crazy
Yeah.
games.
But I think that this is just too.
Because it's so crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've never casted a game
No.
look like this ever.
3 Immortals, when no one has an expansion,
Yeah.
is like the greatest thing ever.
Said Artos is the Protoss player.
No, it says all the Terran and Zerg players too. Immortal is like stupid good early game.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying, I mean, Rogue's in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of just fundamental things going on here that do not allow Zerg to get into anything normal here. Protoss on one base, usually not that good, but against this, oh, you're fine. You're okay. Now, hold on.
Look at this counterattack.
Counterattack's a little bit scary. Oh
Yeah.
my god, he boxed it in. That was so sick. You're so good. Stats. GG. Stats.
So after
Stats.
the 42-minute game gets won by Rogue,
Yeah.
Stats wins 2 games in far less than what is this, a fourth of the time or so. In a fourth of the time, he's up to 2 games now.
That last game was a lot of fun. Kind of
was
hard
a
to
really
follow
cool
at
one.
times, but yeah,
Really
that
cool
one Immortal's a hero.
Yeah.
And I love that pylon block there at the end, just to make sure that army doesn't filter through.
Oh, yeah. Super cool. You see the generic coach, he's like, hey, you got to win here. You see that Rogue actually looks like really kind of shaken.
Well, this, game 1 was so epic, and he's going against the most accomplished Protoss there is right now, and he's doing it right. He's going to the very, very end of the rabbit hole and proving that he's knows how to stay on top. But then game 2 and 3 are like wacky, crazy games, and Stats just seems to be a little bit better on his feet in those games. We're gonna go to a quick break. When we come back, game number 4, Rogue versus Stats in the GSL Code S.
언제나 변함없는 이 맛이 좋다. 깔끔해. 칠성사이다가 좋다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다. 깽팝.
소의 한여름 성장 보양식. 오빠 쑥쑥 크라고 내가 오늘 쌈 싸줄 거예요. 쌈, 고기도 많이, 김치도 많이, 쌈장도 많이, 소의 정성도 많이. 기왕성 먹고 기왕장 돼야 돼요. 올여름 감독님을 성장시킬 폭풍성장 서머 패키지. 피파 온라인 3. 나도 성장할 거야.
김진수 선수를 모시고 이 얘기 한번 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 네! 광고를 하시잖아요, 퓨마 오늘. 네, 이거 좀 보여드리겠습니다. 오, 자 여러분 오늘 이거 드립니다. 이거예요. 네, 만지지만 내 거다. 벌써부터 지금 김진우 형님 별명이 뭔지 아세요? 뭐예요? 베가사비? 아우! 얼굴로 웃긴 게 없잖아요. 김진수 화이팅! 퓨마 화이팅!
면도기에서 면도날은 날카로우며 섬세하죠. 그래서 쉴드가 필요합니다. 이중 윤활 밴드가 아래에 하나, 위에 또 하나. 그리고 시원한 효과까지. 오, 차가워. 질레트 프로실드 7. 쿨링을 더한 프로실드 칠로 당신의 면도를 부드럽고 시원하게. 질레트 프로실드 칠, 남자를 위한 최상의 선택. 프로실드 칠과 프로실드로 최상의 면도를 경험해보세요.
Stats.
Welcome back, boys and girls. We're going into game number 4 between Stats and Rogue. We've had everything you can imagine PvZ today.
Yeah.
This has been something else. Stats is up right now, 2-1, although Rogue won this insane, epic late game CVP, really showing exactly how in a split map game you can take out the Protoss scum.
Yes, and this next map is the other map that I think we could see that same game again on.
That's right, you were mentioning this earlier.
Ascension Iron is a giant map. It is hard to get across. It is kind of a very much defender's advantage for your first like 4 bases because they have to attack up a ramp, right? So definitely a map where we could see game 1 replay itself. 43 minutes of greatness.
Conversely, we could see the opposite because of how bumpy games 2 and 3 were.
Yeah, Rogue seems shaken.
Rogue seems to be a little bit rocky. He might have used all of his stamina up in game 1, and Stats can just try to outmaneuver him. Anyways, let's find out. Game number 4 is ready.
Fight! 2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S.
In the bottom right, in the blue.
Generic Green Wings, Rogue.
In the upper left, in the red, he is
Splice, Stats.
Oof. I agree with your dog woof that you just made there. Woof.
Looks like he decides to make his hatchery and his natural this game.
Okay, for
It's
a
an
little
improvement.
twist, for a little bit of mixing it up.
Yeah.
How about I put this by a base?
Already the most standard build.
Couldn't believe that last game we had there.
Yeah, that was
So
pretty
crazy.
By the way, I do want to point out that I feel like we have a higher chance of SOS making it to BlizzCon if Stats wins this. I think that Rogue is a very tough, tall order for SOS.
I actually think you're right. I think in a PvP, the more games SOS has, especially on a variety of maps, he seems to sort of just know what to do.
Yeah, and I'm not a sick fan of Stats' PvP right now, to be honest. Like, we saw him really kind of have a hard time against Hurricane, who's a very good player, but SOS, without any doubt, is like 4 times better. You know, he's like just...
Well, I think it's not even a PvP issue with SOS or Stats, for that matter. It's the fact that Stats is very good in a long series. He really knows how to mix it up. And knows how to redirect information.
You mean Stats or SOS?
Did I say Stats? I meant SOS.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So I'm like, it sounds to me like you're describing SOS, but you said Stats.
That's what I meant to say. Sorry. Game number that game number 1, man. That took a lot out of me. That was an intense, long game. You know, trying to follow the movements. You know, the tech getting reset over and over again, and Lings coming in from various points and hitting. That was something else. But yeah, I mean, I think that you're right. SOS certainly should do better against somebody like Stats in a PvP. Yeah. But Rogue also, he's pretty tricky.
Whoa, 2-base layer. You don't see that too often.
Wow, what is this? Is this a Brood War game? What is going on?
This could be a Nidus all-in.
But is the Adept gonna see it?
Nope.
No way, he didn't see it?
Nope,
Are you sure?
He did not see it. Adept shade vision is like,
yeah.
you got to touch the
I guess
building,
you don't
basically.
necessarily go up and give the building a big kiss. Ah,
Oh,
I know now.
knows
Okay,
it.
uh-oh.
That's a big.
I think Rogue's heart just sank
deal.
into his stomach right now.
Yeah, this is
Wait
like.
a minute.
I think you just start making some extra units. But where does he go with this? Like,
I think he's
I
gonna...
mean, is it a Nidus? Or no, it could be just Hydra? He's adding gases. I'd be really surprised if it's Spire. Trying to go like 2-hatch Muta against someone who has a starport. Ooh.
Well, he has to show us something soon. This is not a strat where you can stay back and lay off the tech for a little bit. If you're on 2 bases as Zerg against a 2-basing Protoss, the longer you're on 2 bases as that Zerg, the more behind you are.
Yeah. By the way, I'm having a slight memory of Rogue doing a 2-base strat against Protoss at some point in the last year.
Okay, he's going to have this
Good
one
split.
drone set this off. Nicely done.
He's making a Roach Warren.
Now, the Robo is about a quarter of the way finished. Of course, with Roaches being in the game, the Immortal is always the answer.
Yeah, yeah. He hasn't seen the Roach Warren yet. Nidus, there it is. Okay, okay, we're starting to figure this out. But look, the pylon's already being spread. As long as you have a pylon or two near the Nidus, generally with your mothership core and whatever units and probes that you have, you should be able to hold it pretty easily, I think.
I think if Protoss wants to, they can definitely get in there and check what the tech is too. It's pretty clear where Zerg would hide this on 2 bases, right?
Yeah.
Void Rays being made as well. Oracle.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
That's a huge kill.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Every
God,
unit's
that's a
super
huge
important
kill.
to hold off a big attack like this.
Yeah,
okay,
Stasis Ward or just attacking with those is so powerful against the Nidus too.
Now we gotta wait and see where the Nidus is gonna be. It should be over here, but there's 3 pylons. But if the Overseer just goes over further, where the pylons or pylon might not be able to target that.
Oh my
it's gonna
God,
be
he's
outside
just
the
doing a
natural.
frontal push.
Yeah. Now bringing the Overseer in there like that causes Protoss to possibly panic.
Yeah.
As we scramble to try to get rid of this, assuming that the Nidus network is going to come down. The Overseer, I believe, barely gets out of here, right? Yeah.
Ooh,
and,
good call.
And now the Roaches are going to spill forward, but already the Mothership core is in position. So Ravagers is going to be the way to go. He wants to try to use the volleys, the artillery shots there to try to take down the pylon cannon.
He has 2 Stargates. He's making oracles.
Oh, you know what? This is funny. He just takes us out because you can't make stalkers, and stalkers are not handy.
Stalkers feel like actually the right unit to be making here. He's got a lot of adepts, but the adepts shouldn't do too well. There's plenty of transfusions. The 2 oracles coming out can't do anything yet because there's 5 queens. You really need a critical mass of those.
Okay, pylon almost taken out now. Just waiting for those biles to recharge.
Oh my God, this is so wild. Okay, he's scouted the fact that there's mass oracles being made. He's going to be going up to 6. Once he has 6, he absolutely can swoop out here and do some sick damage. Like, at that 6, I think he can just fly in and kind of damage down those queens pretty quickly.
Look at Rogue going from winning the most long standard game to then going out with this just insane...
I love that he's had 2 crazy cheeses.
Crazy guy on the ladder! Style of play.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, God, he made spores.
Oh,
so
sick.
smart, too.
Okay, he's coming forward now.
Oh, man. That's so smart against these oracles.
Yeah.
What do you do with the oracles
this actually
now?
just completely negate. Maybe the oracles go around to the main.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. If you just bring the oracles... Like, the oracles can come down here and even kill just the Nidus, you know?
Oh, that's true, too.
6 oracles can kill whatever the hell they want to kill, except for 5 queens or 3 spores.
With Hydra's incorporated here, the Immortals are not as strong. Now he tags this because it's kind of hard to see behind all of this. You know, it's tricky. The push potential is higher here for the Zerg because of the Ravager artillery shots.
Yeah.
Of course, you could also just kill these spores in the front, right? I mean...
Can you? With the amount of transfuses, like his queens each have like 3 transfuses.
You might be right. I guess it doesn't matter what the Zerg is transfusing. As long as the Zerg is transfusing something and it's not really... Nothing's really getting shaved off here. This is crazy, man.
This huge amount of oracles like is just not doing anything yet, but it's hard to attack in here. That's a lot of stalkers, right? And if you get too close, overcharge comes into play. The oracles can come out. The Immortals are actually dealing some significant damage.
Just barely got that transfuse up in time. Again, he might just try to turn it down. Again, but the problem is also this arc here for the Zerg, this concave is so sick. Like, there's way more damage that can be dealt. You keep in mind, some of this army is just zealots here for the Protoss. I mean, they're just
it's just
sponges,
tanking.
right?
Yeah.
Lurker's going to be inbound here.
Oh my god.
He's going to actually do a Lurker push, Artos.
That's so crazy. It's so good against Stalkers, though. Stalkers can't fight against Lurkers at all.
I think
So
Rogue wins
Zealots,
this.
too.
I think that's going to be...
I think you're right. I think he will bring it to game 5.
I thought that, you know, just seeing the layer, I was so convinced that Stats could handle this, but I think that Rogue has this build so mapped out.
Yeah, and Stats didn't know exactly what was happening. These 3 spores really saved the day. If he didn't have those, the Oracles would have cleaned everything up by now. He's used a lot of transfuse energy, by the way. Doesn't have nearly as much as he did.
I think the Lurkers might take Stats completely off guard, and then this game just ends.
He has to do something now.
Well, they're just not... I mean, Immortals are good against everything that we see here, but not when it's in numbers this high.
Yeah.
Some Zealots coming through here, but of course, the Zerg is still producing from the same area, so he just changes the rally. Wow, look at all these Lurkers.
Oh, boy.
This is crazy.
Doesn't even matter if you can see those things.
Okay, so the Oracles are coming up here now. He has so many Oracles. Is this actually enough? Not targeting, though. The Transfuse is unable to come out in time.
God, the Oracle's really doing a ton of damage here, but is that enough? He's got the spores. He's got more units coming out right now. Those Lurkers dealing ridiculous damage.
No, it's too much.
Yeah.
GG. You know, we're having a hard time figuring out when there's this many Oracles, like what they can do. It's so weird. They do damage so fast.
Yeah, they do.
Rogue squeezes out a win in Game 4, bringing us to Game 5.
It's
right.
Dude, the rest of the series is not going to end up being half as long as the first game. Our last map is going to be Whirlwind. Okay, well,
you know, Whirlwind actually could be a long one.
It could be.
Whirlwind's a big-ass map.
You get some funny situations Whirlwind too, where like you're getting your 3rd base and then your 4th base, and you're kind of on these little islands, and then someone might control the low ground but can't attack up. So definitely a very different map to finish the series off on. Who do you think takes it after what you've seen?
I don't know. I really don't. This has been too hard to call. Even the games themselves, as we're casting them, it's pretty unclear who's going to win until the very, very end. Rogue really impressive with a very specific tech in that last game. Maybe Rogue does something crazy again, you know? I think fatigue, stamina is playing a big role for both of these guys, you know?
Yeah.
If you get too worn out, it's too hard to play a macro game, and maybe it's not worth it. I don't know. Yeah. We're going to Whirlwind, guys. The last game for the night. Rogue versus Stats. The winner is in the round of 4 of the GSL Code S.
Hot 6 GSL Season 3 Code S.
In the bottom right, winning that last game with that cool push.
Generic Green Wings, Rogue.
By the way, Protoss is going to scout Zerg immediately.
Oh, yeah?
In the upper right, in the red.
Splice. Stats.
And the only reason why I'm jumping all over that right now is because we've had so many weird games. I think the moment that you scout them, any information you can get is going to be important. I'm actually surprised that we've had so many action-packed, short, weird games.
Yeah,
from these
especially
two.
after the first one.
Yeah.
Not what I was expecting, but what a series, what a day. Both PVZs going to the final game. Of course, Rogue really, really needs this victory if he wants to go to BlizzCon. Of course, that does not guarantee, and him losing doesn't necessarily guarantee, but...
So, important thing to note is that between Stats and Rogue, Rogue is definitely the one that's had more issues keeping the right mindset in a long series like this. Stats is actually, I would say, very much so refined, very comfortable in his own skin, very comfortable, you know, wherever he is, if he's playing StarCraft, he's going to bring you pretty solid games.
Yeah.
We don't normally see Stats crash and burn, whereas Rogue has been somewhat, out of all the top players, probably one of the most inconsistent ones.
Yeah.
Where he brings some of the best sort of games you've ever seen, and then the next week he can have a total flub.
This has been going on for years with Rogue as well, so this is not like some new thing, and yeah, he's on a hot streak right now. He was killing the ladder for months, won IEM Shanghai. Here he is again in the round of 8. But that does not mean that he just seals up the victory. Almost beat Sue in the round of 8 previously.
Twilight Council being made here. Is Stats going to try to go for that quick DT drop?
Probably. It's
Probably.
good. Yeah, it's quite good for the map. Definitely something favored by Korean pros here on Whirlwind.
We're going to wait and see if we have the Robo coming up next, along with the Dark Shrine. That's what we're looking for. You know, we have to remember that last game was, not the last game, game number 3 was so weird because the War Prism was shot down with the 2 Archons in it.
Yeah.
Which meant Protoss was way off balance. And then Zerg tried to counterattack with the Queens dropping, and then that was shot down. So it's like, this game is a disaster. This game is somewhat of a dumpster fire as far as how pros
dumpster fire.
As far as how pros expect it to be panning out, assuming 2 players are playing well.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just giving this a
dumpster fire.
Maybe he's giving this a second chance here. Yeah. There it is, the Dark Shrine.
It's like anything having to do with dumpsters. It's just to dumpster someone in the game is hilarious. A game
bit of
being
a
dumpster fire.
A dumpster exhibition show, if you will.
God. By the way, does anyone else think that in a PvZ we shouldn't be listening to Terran music? It seems a little bit biased.
Yeah, I know. Only if it's on Mech Depot, then I guess it's fine.
Okay, I don't think an evolution chamber is made, right? So there's not going to be a Ling counter drop against this Archon drop, and obviously you can't just be dropping queens and chasing around with queens. So
but no, there is an evolution chamber.
Oh, there is?
There's spores being made. Hold on, no, never mind. What am I talking about? God, that game. God, I'm more out for that game. Game 1. What am I talking about? Now, yeah, in this case, then Zerg doesn't have that ability to leverage this at all. To be like, okay, you're attacking me, but therefore we don't have anything back at home.
Well, he's making a Roach Horn. That's the old way, well, the standard way to counter this.
The olden days?
Yeah, the olden days when any other Zerg played against this ever, including now. So, you know, that's like more of the standard counter.
Yeah.
I did like how Rogue chased it around with an Overlord.
This is the old school way. This is what if Rogue is playing it so old school Artosis, his base might be a Renaissance festival.
Yeah.
I mean, this is...
He stands on the shoulders of the ancient nerds.
That's right. The DTs are coming in here now. Oh, he actually got premium surface area on the spore, and it goes down. Things are snowballing very quickly. On paper, the Zerg could have been fine there, but the positioning wasn't quite set up.
This is not good. 4 DTs going to town right now. He's trying to push that Prism back a bit. Looks like he will be able to stop this from killing his lair, but
I mean, look at that. The DTs get out. The War Prism only losing shields.
That damage was pretty significant. 7 drones, that lost mining time, the killing the Spore. You know, this was definitely very good for Stats, who now will just proceed with Archon harassment. Making it immortal right now. Okay, is he going to take his third? It looks like he is.
He's going to try to come in here for more. Once the DTs have been shut down with detection, that's when you can switch into the Archons. And it's tough, right? The Archons, they fire so fast once they come out of the War Prism.
Yeah.
The splash is so strong, especially against the Lings. And you can pick them up so easily with the War Prism pickup distance.
Yeah.
To then pull them away. You're not even really trading. You're just, besides shields for the Archons, which of course come back. I mean, you're getting a lot for free, basically.
Yeah, as long as you're on top of it, you're shaving off value consistently. So it's quite a nice opener, but there are ways to counter it. You know, if you make a bunch of roaches, you're really forcing your opponent into a lot of immortals. Occasionally you'll see people go for a Spire after that to try to catch the Protoss off guard. Not as popular right now, but
Rogue doing a great job, by the way, pulling back the injured roaches. He doesn't want to have this trade too much. And we have a push now coming out. The Lynx might try to counterattack, but this push can actually be pretty hard to hold on to.
By the way, he's making that Spire I was just talking about, so that's kind of neat. This was like the older way to counter this. Your opponent is going for kind of a ground-pounding army, you know, Archons, Zealots, Immortals, and that'll just kill roaches, for instance. But if you get the Spire out, you don't have to make a lot of mutas, but if you just make like a handful and go for the mineral lines, it really can throw a wrench into the plans of Protoss.
Okay. The Lings are unable to do anything because there's just not enough there with pylon cannons out here to make them effective at all. Protoss backed up, though. That seemed to be a little bit more of pressuring from the Protoss to make the Zerg a little bit uncomfortable, to make the Zerg panic. The Zerg has to take a 4th base, and that may be where Protoss gears up. Those gateways finishing up over there. Actually, they're already done. And because of that, Protoss can have enough momentum to maybe put the pressure on, assuming he's ready for a Spire switch.
He flew over the Spire, but he's, like, right now still making an Immortal and Zealots, but not moving out. If he was attacking right now, this would make perfect sense that he's still making these units, but I think what happened is when he flew over there, he was just looking elsewhere. I don't think he knows the mutas are on the way because he has to be across the map right now.
Well, this can happen sometimes when you're flying around with Phoenixes, is you actually fly over what you needed to see, but you weren't vigilant enough to click.
And you're doing so much, you might not even notice that there was a building there. It could have been anything. It could have been a spore or something. I don't know.
Banelings, 14 more links coming out here. The mutas are about to hatch. It looks like the War Prism will just barely miss them. And with these mutas, actually, it seems like they're making a beeline up north.
Okay, well, at least he can start to get ready now, making some stalkers. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go blink as well. And as long as he doesn't take too much damage from these mutas, you know, Rogue is the type of guy who will stay on muta, so he might have to add Stargates, but you can just get Psystorm, Archons, some Stalkers, and be fine.
Also, coming up here, Protoss may have the option to push. This expansion that's been taken by Zerg, or is being taken, I should say, is attackable.
Ooh, I like
this
that.
Distance, nice job, very effective trade.
Sick force field over that pylon. It's really important.
Muta's looking for an opening here. I don't think they're going to get one.
Yeah, not finding any damage
For
yet.
us, is nearly maxed out.
Okay, he's staying on mutas. So this game definitely could go towards a base trade.
For sure.
If Stats decides to just make an army that mutas can't attack, the only option for Rogue would be to go for a base trade. And
he's getting cannons, though, back over there at his other bases. The mutas are not quite... No, mutas are actually circling around the center right, so they do have the option to try to attack in here. Stats is both expanding to and pushing towards Rogue. It's a smart move for him. I think this is a great move to try to expand here because he can just continue to lean on his opponent. Mutas counterattacking are not as effective. Now, with the rest of those mutas meeting up, he suddenly knows that a base trade is a real threat. And we are getting right to that, Artosis.
Base trade commences right now. The mutas flying in, starting to take out as much as they can. Of course, that's a lot of roaches to help out as well. Mothership core goes down immediately.
Now, does Protoss commit or does Protoss turn around? I think Protoss has to commit with some of this. See, the mutas, of course, can always fly out. The mutas are a real threat when you're low econ and your bases are getting shredded apart. The Immortals, of course, don't go back because they have no real reason being slow to ever try to turn around. That might trigger the mutas to come back. Massive amounts of cannons here and 3 Stargates.
I'm kind of liking right now
Look
where
at the
Stats
splitting.
is at.
Stats is so good.
Oh my God, so much damage being dealt to Rogue right now.
This is so well done. Now he's going to try to target the Nexus down over here. But this Rogue Ravager army can't really get out.
Yeah, the mutas will be able to clean up all of the Immortals, so that's kind of nice, but 3 Stargates are being made by Stats as well as a billion cannons, so...
Okay, he gets that hatch. It's all going to come down to these mutas here, but I think that Stats basically has the answer. He has all those cannons, not to mention some Archons and Stalkers there that he can pair with that. The Stargate's coming in.
Is he just barely not going to get this hatch? That's a good hatchery save, but 64 drones have lost their lives.
I don't think that there's... Well, 23 meters is a lot, but I don't think...
No,
he can get in there. I don't think. 3 Phoenixes are coming up.
Okay, well, he's making drones right now, so he has to gain value right at this moment with these mutas.
This is a very uncomfortable Zerg player right now. Just the way things are set up.
Yeah, it does look good for Stats. There's no question.
I think he's got it, man. He can also send a few of those Zealots down there to try to get that hatchery. He's got some unfinished business there. That's only 146 HP.
Okay, he's got some lings. Try to help out.
Yep, that's just enough.
Yeah, and he has the Overseer, so the DT can't quite snoop in right now, or sneak in.
And you never know if those lings aren't moved. Oh, he's just going to go for it. It's like, maybe if I just rotate around.
Okay, that's good by Stats.
Yeah, it's not,
by Rogue.
I get the idea of what Stats is trying to do. Problem is that the only asset that Rogue has is the mutas, and those are being directly answered here by Stats. And Stats' base is just a lot more stable right now.
Yeah, he's about to have 5 Phoenixes, and he can just continue to produce those. Okay, no, never mind. 8 Phoenixes. Jeez. 8 against 23. This is the type of number where you can start to micro him against the mutas, and even going to get Phoenix range.
Okay, so the mutas are coming in here. Now, the angling of the mutas themselves, I think, means that the Phoenixes, if he does it right, he can sort of bunch them into a corner, and the mutas actually can't quite turn around. Okay, the mutas actually do end up escaping. A nice ling attack. You know, these guys, it's a scrappy game, by the way, but they're really making the small tools they have at their disposal work for them.
Okay, cleans up those slings, but that still was very effective, as you say. Another fleet beacon being made. He didn't lose his fleet beacon, did he?
I don't believe so. You know, it's one of these weird. Okay.
Oh!
Whoa! Nicely done.
Woo!
Wow, I think that should be it. There is nothing to stop this counter now. GG Stats does it.
Wow, and with that game might go any chance Rogue has for going to BlizzCon this year. He is really one of the very best circuits in the world, but not able to make it past that crucial round of 8 in GSL Code S. Of course, this gives Stats even more WCS points. What the hell, man?
This guy's becoming someone that has a monopoly on these WCS points. We're gonna have to break him up. He's out of control.
He's the little car.
He's the thimble, Artosis.
Yeah.
Well, Rogue's got to be feeling a little bit sad about that. I don't blame him. I mean, this was a wild series. We had every kind of imaginable PvZ after these 2 best-of-5s.
Yeah. All right, well, that gives us a Protoss in the grand finals.
That's right.
SOS versus Stats. You know, Stats, of course, like the new Protoss on the block, just dominating recently. SOS,
그 자체 김대엽 선수와 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
네, 감사합니다.
Congratulations,
정말 오늘
Sassy says thank you.
안정적인 실력으로 올라가게 됐습니다. 4강 진출 소감 어떠세요?
That was very stable performance. How do you feel?
너무 첫 번째 게임부터 너무 장기전을 해서 지금 힘이 너무 다 빠진 상태고요.
Even from the first match.
일단 최종적으로 그래도
It was crazy how
승자가
late that game
돼서
went. I was so exhausted after that.
좀 아쉬웠던 점도 있지만 결과적으로는 승자가 돼서
There were a lot of parts back there where I felt like I was making
이병렬
mistakes.
선수가 오늘 모든 판을 판짜기를 해오셨거든요.
But eventually I just managed to pull through and I said, okay, the semifinals is too important.
예측하기
I've got to do
어려운
it.
스타일로만
Even Rogue prepared some crazy strats.
어떻게 이렇게
He had a lot of very
안정적으로
interesting
잘 플레이를
builds.
하시죠?
It seemed like it would be tough to predict him. How did you deal with it?
그냥
어렵지 않으셨어요?
상황마다
Wasn't that
할 수 있는
difficult to do
최선의 선택을 했었던 것 같고
네.
진짜 병렬도 정말 준비를 잘해와가지고 정말 좀
There are a lot of
어려운
situations that are hard
8강
to deal
승부였던
with.
것 같아요.
But I just tried to stay focused in every moment.
장기전이었어요.
And throughout the whole series,
그동안의 그 접부전
it was a really
약한과는
rough
굉장히
series.
다른 느낌이었거든요. 이병렬 선수가 버티기식으로 극후반을 바라보는 운영을 보여주셨는데 그 1세트의 느낌이
Seems like your
어떠셨는지
PvZ
좀 더
operates
자세히
differently from the other Protoss players.
아무래도 레더 게임에서도
Tell us a little bit about Map 2 as well.
만나면 이런 양상의 게임을 많이 했어요.
네.
Even when I met Rogue,
이게 저는 좀
On the
이거에
ladder,
대한 완벽한 이런
we usually have
해법을
games
찾지
that look like that.
못해가지고
So,
만약에 이렇게 장기전을
up
가게
until today,
되면은
I couldn't really
이렇게
find the solutions on how to deal with it.
이렇게 경기를
But
하면은 어떻게 이기지라는
if we go in a late
생각을
game,
굉장히 많이
there's-
했었었는데 결국
That's where I
오늘도
ended up
찾지
having more
못하고
questions.
네, 졌었던 것 같아요.
Usually it's late game against Rogue that gets
그렇게
trickier to deal
아쉬운
with.
패배도 있었지만 다른 경기에서는 다 좋은 경기력이었어요. 이병렬 선수가 굉장히 참신한 빌드를 가지고 온 세트를 이긴 경우도 있는데
Says he still doesn't have a solution for like the very late game against Rogue.
Yeah.
That's a really tough thing to play against him.
끝나고 나서 몰랐었는데
네.
민수가 그러더라고요. 너무
When Rogue pulled out the secret builds,
거기에
You tend to win against them.
스포닝풀 지었다.
네. 전진 살람못이었어요.
네. 그러면서
네.
전진 살람못.
I didn't even know he had that proxy hatch right away.
근데 좀 이런 류의 빌드는 또
I was totally caught off guard. A
민수하고
lot of the stuff that
연습하니까
happened in those games, I ended up
몇
hearing
번
about later after they were
그게
over with.
네. 승리하는데 도움이
When I
됐던
practiced
것
with
같아요.
Solar,
오늘 경기도 계속 보시면서 기다리시더라고요.
he showed me that
강민수
unusual
선수의
build, so that was very helpful. So I have encountered it before.
민수가 그 CM 있을 때 중간중간마다 와서
Solar, even after he finished his
얘기를
games, he stayed here.
해줬는데,
And he was just
원래도
giving me tips throughout the series. It was really helpful.
민수 덕분에 좀 쉽게 잡을 수
So
있었던 것
definitely
같아요.
Solar helped me a lot
그렇군요.
today.
자, 이렇게 해서 4강 상대로 이제 김유진 선수가 됐습니다. 김유진 선수는 어떠세요?
So Solar kept him in a good state of mind.
너무 좀 변태같이
So you're facing SOS. How do you feel?
네.
변태같이 하는 그래가지고 좀 너무 좀
He's known for his perverse Protoss style.
많이 되지만은 그래도
네.
8강전 준비했었던 것처럼
I do have some anxiety about playing against him, to be honest.
두 분의 스타일이 정말 달라요.
네.
I guess I got to prepare
두 분의 그
like I
스타일이
did for the
다른 점이
quarterfinals.
아무래도
I got to prepare like that for the semifinals.
기대되세요.
So your two
어떤 점
Protosses, you and
보여주실지
SOS,
저희는
very
정말 기대가
different
돼요. 김유진
styles.
선수가.
뭐
똑같이
We have a lot of
변태적으로
high expectations for both of
하냐
you.
아니면은
네.
그냥 단단하게 하냐. 뭐 저는 이건 거
He says, I'm going to try to play weird,
똑같이 변태적으로 할 것 같은데.
just like
네.
SOS. Although I'm also
제가
considering playing
준비하면서
maybe
잘
a
선택해서
more
나와야 될
standard
것
style as well.
어떻게 김유진 선수를 준비해 오실지 정말 기대가 됩니다.
Anyways,
현재
we're just going to
WSS
train hard.
포인트도
And,
1만 점을
I
훌쩍
guess on, after I've done enough practice PvP, I'll know
올해
which style to bring
정말
out.
김대엽 선수의
I
해가
guess
된 것
SOS. By the way, your
같아요.
WCS points
자,
are more
또
than
이제
10K.
결승까지 한 발 앞까지 왔으니까 앞으로의 각오.
A lot of people are saying this is the year for stats. What are your goals as we continue forward in 2017?
굉장히 힘든 고비의 순간들이 많았는데 어찌저찌 잘 이겨내고.
Well, in this round of 8 today, there were a lot of crisis moments. I was really worried I wouldn't be able to make it, but I finally made it to the semifinals.
다시 한번 결승 무대 이렇게 밟아가지고 그 GSL 시즌 1 때처럼
I feel like once again I have an opportunity to be on the final stage, and I've got another chance to
네, 다시 한번 사강들주
invite all my
축하드립니다.
fans and my friends and my family down there.
네,
So I'm
자,
hoping
이렇게
that's going to
김대엽
happen.
선수
All right, that does
사강들주까지
it.
만나봤습니다.
Congratulations, stats. We had a really fun day today. Super exhausting game 1. Wow.
It really was, and to have them both go to Game 5 is fantastic.
I know.
A long day of great StarCraft. Of course, Saturday we have the other side of the bracket, Tasteless.
That's right. Innovation versus Beyond and Dark versus TY. And I would not be surprised if that's 5 games for each of those as well.
It definitely could be. Like, these guys are very, very well matched. It'll be interesting to see what Byung can do. He's starting out tonight. He was in 8th place. In fact, yeah, you should still be in 8th place. Indeed. In the BlizzCon standings, of course, only the top 8 go.
Right.
But Innovation matches up reasonably well against Byun, even though, of course, Byun can beat anybody. Innovation right now is in probably top form of anyone in the world after that GSL versus World victory. That was just a master class on how to play this game.
Oh, for sure. I am looking forward to that. SOS versus Stats is going to be a blast to cast for sure.
Yeah.
Innovation versus Beyond, man. When we saw those games that they had earlier, GSL versus one of the craziest TBTs ever, man. They were absolutely beautiful. And Dark versus TY, I mean, that's just a tough one to call.
That is so tough. Like, those two playing each other, they're the brainiest players from their races.
Absolutely.
So, like, we are just going to see the absolute craziest, like, late game stuff going on. Or maybe just cheese, because they're both that brainy, right?
Sometimes you got to play around your own style.
Yeah.
So people can't predict you. That's why we have the players who mix it up are the ones that usually come out on top. Even if they have some kind of style we normally point to, they will occasionally maneuver out of that. And that, of course, is going to be on Saturday at the usual time, 1 p.m. here in Korea. So do not miss out. That, of course, is a time we set that is more desirable for the viewers in North America.
And that is the day, I guess, that we are celebrating the 7 years of GSL.
That's right. That's the GSL Codex birthday.
Yeah, if you're in Korea, I suggest you come down to the studio. Have a lot of fun that day, no doubt.
We're going to be having a lot of cake on that day.
Yeah.
On the GSL name day.
GSL name day.
That's right.
Well, that's, I don't know, let's look at that forever, that round.
There we go.
Super tournament coming up.
We had a lot of fun doing the Super Tournament earlier this year. We're doing it again. So there's still more StarCraft 2. That's going to be after the GSL Codex. So definitely join us for that. It's a 4-day marathon of the 16 best players in Korea. Kind of cool. It's kind of like we have our own little IEM or something like that here in Korea.
Yeah, and it's pretty awesome because we are going to have the 2 finalists going up. So, like, for instance, if Byun or SOS make it to the finals, because those are guys really looking for a lot of points right now to kind of secure that BlizzCon spot, they get that free seed into the round of 16, so definitely can help them a lot. But this will be a ridiculously fun tournament.
Good job today, Artosis. This was fun.
Yeah, you as well.
We've been doing
Good
GSL
times.
almost for, I guess, within a couple days. 7
7 years.
That's crazy. It's a long time.
Where
It
does
doesn't
time
feel
go?
that long. Yeah, where does time go? We have some. We need to do this literally within the next 24 hours.
Yes.
If you have stuff you want to send photos or messages or videos about the GSL, somebody put this on some of these sites for StarCraft. You can send that to that email, and we might use that for the show. How? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works exactly.
I'm just a
but
lowly caster.
you can win a GSL uniform, so that's pretty big.
You want one of those. You want one of those. You could sleep in that GSL uniform. It would feel good.
Yeah, you could also wear it when you go to see a StarCraft event somewhere.
Yeah, or to the mall. I mean, it's your uniform. You can do whatever you want.
People at the mall
Once we
stop
give it
you. Oh
to
my
we
God,
don't-
have you played in GSL?
We don't take it back. It's yours.
Yeah.
Anything else to say, Artosis, before we close it out?
Excited for Saturday. Wish I had a GSL uniform, but no one's ever given me one, despite working here for 7 years. Yeah, that's it.
One.
No,
I'll
I'm never
get
going to
one,
get one. You're going to get one? What, are you going to enter this? Probably no one's entering it if we send a
I'm
picture
just going to go
that
back
we
in the
win.
makeup room and just steal stuff. Can't stop me.
Like, sorry,
Petty
guys,
crime.
we're only giving out
They won't
two.
get rid
One
of me.
was
They'll be like,
stolen.
Did you steal one of our GSL shirts? I'm like, no. And I just deny it even though they know.
Yeah.
We're out of time. We love you guys. We will see you on Saturday. That is it for tonight's GSL Code S. Mwah!